The Sixers were a dream team led by Dr. J and Moses Malone, but Philly fans knew where to look in the clutch.
Bobby Jones for defense. There ain't nobody else. There ain't nobody else.
Bobby Jones is a throwback, a quiet, reserved man off the court. On it, he is transformed. When Coach Billy Cunningham needs inspired defense, he just looks down the bench.
Bobby just adds so many dimensions to us. You know, he's the type of player that you can't judge what he's done for a team by looking at a box score, because he's such an outstanding team defensive ball player.
Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final was as close as it gets. Jones blocked a baseline shot by Marcus Johnson to send it into overtime, and the pressure was crushing. With Philly down by 1 point, Jones snaked inside, stole the inbound pass, and hit Clint Richardson. It was a game breaker. Philly won by 2 points. And Coach Nelson looked like the game had been stolen. But for Bobby Jones, it was all in a day's work.
That's part of my job, is to play defense, try to get a steal, try to get something going, get out on the break, and try to create something for somebody else.
Game 2 was just as intense. Up by only 2 late in the fourth quarter, Jones hammered Brian Winters, got the block, and the Sixers blew down court. Cheeks hit the doctor, who jammed it. The Bucks couldn't believe it. Instead of a tie game, they were down by 4, and though they cried foul, the bucket stood. When the final buzzer sounded, the Sixers took a 2-game lead into Milwaukee. Maurice Cheeks likes what he sees. In Game 3, he scored 7 straight points in another crucial fourth quarter to lead Philadelphia to victory. The Bucks looked beaten, and their fans were realistic.
Unfortunately, Milwaukee and Philadelphia have to play each other off before you can get to the big game. And it's happened before, and it continues happening. It's just a shame you got to play Philadelphia every time to get into the last game.
In Game 4, the Bucks were playing for pride. They refused to go down easy. Again, the game was close all the way, but this time, with balanced scoring and some clutch play off the bench, they held off the Sixers' charge. The Bucks won it in the last quarter, but they were still deep in the hole.
You think back to the number of teams that have been down 3-0 and have come back to win. Does it bother you?
Have there been any?
No.
Oh, okay.
Heading back to Philadelphia, the Bucks knew they had to buckle down to business. Their season was riding on these games, and they had traveled too far to come up empty. They knew they had to go all out.
And no better time than tonight, because it's sudden death for Milwaukee the rest of the way, as the 76ers look to wrap it up in Game 5 from the Spectrum.
Confidence was flowing outside as well.
Little Mo, Big Mo, the Doctor, Andrew Toney, and Ivoroni. No baloney. Sixers all the way.
Philly fans wanted to put an end to the Bucks' 1-game win streak. And the Sixers set out early to shut down the Bucks' offense and run away with the game. The entire team hit its stride, played their best game of the series with outside shooting, inside muscle, and some sweet movement. Philly loved its heroes. Moses put in a full night's work, and the Sixers had this one in the bag with time to spare. Julius Erving led the way, Bobby Jones played his solid D, and the whole Sixers squad contributed. The fans could see their stars were shining brightly. When Moses had joined the team at the start of the season, there'd been some question about team harmony. Now they had blended perfectly and were going to the NBA Finals.
Moses, Dr. J, the whole team, the guards, the 4 guards are incredible. The whole team's incredible.
The Sixers, because they got the best bench, and they got Moses Malone, the top rebounder. They're excellent. #1, all the way.
LA might have a magician, but we got the position.
And it's full forward, number 6, captain
The Sixers were favored and ready. They'd lost to the Lakers in 2 of the last 3 finals, and nothing but a championship would satisfy their fans. This was a great rematch with one major difference. The Sixers had signed free agent Moses Malone, and he was unstoppable. Nobody was denying Moses, and Billy Cunningham used Malone's muscle to develop his championship series game plan.
It's the book on the Lakers. They're a finesse team, and you have to, beat them up. You have to play physical. You have to attack. You have to go over the top. You have to make them muscle. And we've been able to deal with it. We won a championship 2 out of the last 3 years.
The year before, Cunningham's Sixers had been swamped by the Lakers, swarming trap defense, and he knew he'd face it again. But this year, the Sixers countered by spreading their offense, opening up the floor, snapping their passes, and hitting their shots. This was a major strategic triumph in Cunningham's quest to coach a champion. Billy Cunningham knows about championships. He came off the bench as the valued 6th man on the 1966-67 Philadelphia team that many consider to be the best in NBA history.
When I was a player, I thought of myself as a student of the game. And I tried to evaluate the team we were going to play, how I was going to help the team win. And then when I became a coach, I thought I'd be able to step in and be able to do a good job right away. But the thing that amazes me is how much work you have to do if you're going to be successful in this business.
Cunningham takes his job seriously. His close friend, Julius Erving, knows the depth of Cunningham's commitment.
We have off days, but he doesn't take a day off, and you can see that, and sometimes you can see the wear and the tear and the drain on him. But he recovers from that, and he bounces back, and he gets back into the task of what he feels it takes to lead his team to a championship.
It's nice to hear somebody say, you'd like to see Julius get a ring, or Billy get a ring, or Moses get a ring. There's only one place you get it. It's on the court. It's very nice to talk about those things. Another thing to do it. And the only way we're going to do it is just by hard work.
Against the Lakers, Cunningham was prepared, but early in the first quarter, one head-on collision altered the entire series. Sixer guard Andrew Toney and the Lakers' Norm Nixon laid each other out. It looked serious. Toney bruised his head, and Nixon remained in the game. Cunningham had to go to his bench. It was the best move he made all day. Sixer guard Clint Richardson is the classic role player. He does what he's asked to do. In Game 1, the Sixers needed scoring, and he hit for 10 points in the third quarter and sparked his teammates. Playing in place of the injured Toney, Richardson's second-half defense, rebounding and scoring were key as the Sixers forged a lead. Pat Riley needed to regroup his squad, and if the Philly fans thought it was over, they should have known better than to count out the Lakers. L.A. tightened their trap, stole the ball, ran, and cut into the Philadelphia lead. Now it was Cunningham's turn to try and stop the flow. The Lakers were tired. They had beaten San Antonio only 36 hours before, and their aggressive trapping defense was taking its toll. The Sixers prepared for one more Laker charge, and Coach Riley felt the game was up in the air. It turned on one play. Down by only 6 points, the Lakers trapped, forced a turnover, and Michael Cooper drove to cut it to 4. But he missed. The Sixers raced the other way. Cheeks to the doctor. What would have been a 4-point game was now back to 8, and Coach Riley knew that the Sixer bench had outplayed his own. Game 1 to Philadelphia. The key was Richardson.
There's a difference today. If I have to devise a defense to stop Clint Richardson, we're in trouble.
I'd rather be underrated than overrated. And they want to underestimate and underrate me. That's their problem. But I'm going to come out and play hard, every time I'm out there. And if I hurt them, that's going to be their fault, and not mine.
Game 2 was close all the way. The Lakers jumped out in the first half, but the Sixers bounced back. And in the fourth quarter, the game was very much up for grabs. Jack Nicholson, who came east, thought the Lakers were going south. With 8 minutes remaining, the game seemed about to turn. Moses Malone was called for his 5th foul. And even Moses' son knew the Lakers had the advantage they'd wanted. Off the bench came Sixer reserve Earl Curitan, and the Lakers looked to attack him. Turned out to be the other way around. Curitan rebounded. The Laker offense came up short when it tried to exploit him. They forced the ball to Kareem, but Curitan denied him and started a Sixer surge. Although not known as a shooter, Curitan could not resist his own version of the skyhook. This was Cinderella stuff. But with Moses still sitting on the bench, the Philly fans were not yet secure. But what had seemed to be a break for the Lakers became a Sixer breakaway as Philadelphia slashed open a tight game. The Spectrum crowd went wild. They've been waiting so long for the satisfying thrill of victory. The Lakers had been beaten by yet another unlikely hero, and the Sixers walked off the court 2 games up, their confidence growing, a team of superstars and role players sensing their time had come. The fans loved it, and Earl Curitan got their respect and his teammates' praise and jive.
For him to get in and play like he did, I think that's a credit to him. And when he threw a sky hook on Kareem, you know, he probably saw so many of them, he knew how to do it himself.
Earl Curitan is not going to be able to walk around the streets of Detroit and have people look at him and wonder who he is. They're going to know. There's Earl Curitan 76s. Let me doubt.
While the Sixers savored their win, they still had to face the Lakers in L.A., but they pointed to their excellent record on the road. The Sixers went to Moses, and Moses went to work. He was just getting started. He rebounded and fired off the outlet pass. When Kareem challenged the outside shot, Moses put the ball on the floor and muscled his way inside. The man was inspired. Again, he drove and showed some finesse. Riley could call time, but he couldn't stop the Sixers from reeling off 8 straight points, and what had been a close game became a runaway. It was bad news for the Sunshine Boys. And some fair-weather fans headed for the highway. The Sixer bench was just about on fire. A 17-point victory, a 3-0 lead. A big man who was smoking, Moses and the Sixers had the Lakers shaken.
Moses, to me, right now, is the greatest center in the game. He does it for him offensively, defensively. People talk about his rebounding ability. He's a great scorer, too. Block shots. He does everything Philadelphia needs.
For the 3rd straight game, Philadelphia had beaten up on the Lakers' depleted front court and relentlessly ruled the rebounding.
Whoever really dominates or wins that department is probably going to win the series. I mean, that's wherein lies, the stuff those rings are made out of.
One story with a championship ring to it was Moses Malone's. Playing against the best, he was producing his best. Never the most verbal of men, Moses spoke like a prophet.
I like guys like Rambis. Guys that come out there push me, because the more they push me, the feel like the stronger I get, and I get more aggressive. Then I know what I got to do.
Wait a minute, the more they push you, the stronger you get?
Oh yeah, I love pushing.
How do you figure that out? That doesn't make sense.
That's how I feel. I like to sweat. I like to get that sweat in and make me more aggressive. And I like people to bang me, and then I feel more strong.
No team had ever rebounded from a 3-0 deficit, and the Sixers weren't just thinking win, they wanted history.
Playing for the World Championship, and you're playing against a team that's on a crusade, that's very talented and very committed.
We want to end it in 4. We want someone to remember this team.
For years, they had begun as favorites, ended as runners-up, or worse. 3 finals in 4 years. They told their fans they owed them one, and now they had finally delivered. Moses Malone had had a champagne series and was voted most valuable player. This was vindication.
Hey, Mr. Tony, how did you feel when the buzzer went off and we had won the world?
The way I felt, I tell you, I didn't even know I had feet.
For veterans Julius Erving and Bobby Jones, this was an intimate and personal triumph. For many on the squad, it was overwhelming.
It was just fantastic. Carried us in the first game of this series. Offensively, just did it.
Billy Cunningham had lived with failure and now had finally won the respect that comes with victory.
One thing about this team that they should be remembered for is they had the ability every year to come back and just keep on doing it. And keep on doing it, and darn it, they climbed the mountain.
I think that we got the monkey off our back, that the city no longer can walk up to our players, myself, and call us a choker.
While Sixer owner Harold Katz celebrated his team's victory, Laker owner Dr. Jerry Buss showed grace in defeat.
My hat's off to the victors, and this is what it's all about, the winning, the losing, the struggle. It's great.
Winners a year before, the Lakers maintained their poise. Pat Riley congratulated the victors.
I would have much rather been on the other end of this thing tonight, but, you know, I feel very good about our team. I'm going to celebrate my team tonight, and I'm also going to celebrate Billy Cunningham and Matty Gukas, Jack McMahon, Moses, Doc, Andrew, Maurice, all of them, because I think they deserve it. So I'm going to raise my glass to them, too, tonight.
Riley showed a great deal of class.
Great job.
You deserve it, no doubt. Cleaned all those skeletons out of
there. Yeah.
Dr. J finally cleaned the skeletons out of his closet. And, you know, they happen to wear purple and gold 2 out of the last 3 years. You know, my heart's out to him. God bless him. He deserves it.
NBA Commissioner Larry O'Brien presented the trophy to the champion Sixers.
And the world champions are here with us right now. The Philadelphia 76ers, the champions of the world.
Hello.
The 76ers own this forever. The world champions.
This was our time. It was all a matter, you know, the plan for us, and we didn't write the script. We just lived it out.